Hello, it is I, your good friend, the Hat. I am here because someone has asked me to give my take on a certain local celebrity called Jack Parrow. People have asked me, what do I think about the fact that he wears a bigger hat? I say, it is not the size of the hat that defines the man, but how he wears it. People have asked me, what do I think about the fact that he swears a lot in his songs, and he sometimes uses such foul lyrics? I say, it doesn't really surprise me. I have encountered people who talk like that on a daily basis, so it doesn't really come as a surprise, now does it? What intrigues me more are the people who constantly badmouth him, the people who come across as being uptight, sometimes stuck up, blaming him for being the reason why young people are the way they are today. Is he the reason for that? Maybe, maybe not. But if you take into account these people, they tend to pass themselves off as perfect. They would never do the type of things that Jack Parrow would do or say. They would never even do the kind of things that pop singers do in their videos. Pose half naked so the public can see you. But the interesting thing is, who are these people when the curtains are drawn and the doors are closed? For a fact, you know that these people, especially the women, like to indulge in a substance that you get in a little square-shaped box. The substance is called red wine. Now, when you begin to drink red wine rather excessively, you begin to experience three separate symptoms. The women begin with a laugh, a kind of witch's laugh, like, ah! Believe me, it gets rather annoying. Later on, believe it or not, comes what you thought you would never hear from them. Swearing, uncontrollably, like it's going out of fashion. Like Jack Parrow can come to the party, sit down and start taking notes. The third symptom is a show of extreme affection, especially towards other men, not just the older ones, the quite younger ones as well. Sometimes they tend to stagger around and accidentally fall on their laps on purpose. And you can just hear the younger people saying, "Hey Holmes, I came to pick up a chica with a fresh set of watermelons. Not a bunch of milk that has gone past their expiry date. Ah." Scary, isn't it? And yet, even with the men who prefer a more liquid substance that comes in a bottle, sometimes referred to as brandy, or a different one called whiskey, or even a lighter one called beer. These drinks give men an overabundance of wisdom they never knew they had. Their first symptoms, they also developed a laugh, more like the laugh of an accountant. Oh, oh, oh. Actually, that's closer to Santa Claus, but you get the point. Then comes the real wisdom. They tell you everything they think they know, but in fact they don't know, making it only more confusing. The third, the aggressive kind, where all they want to do is fight and brag about the fact that they can still stand after having a bunch of drinks, including shots. The only disadvantage they have of drinking so much is that in your stomach there is another party going on with all those mixed drinks, and sooner or later they would want to leave, whether it be out the back door or out the front. You see, my friend, you won't be left standing after that, when those drinks decide the internal party is over. And they especially like to chat up the women, but not just any women. They target mostly the younger kind, unlike the women who like to target both old and young Men, that is. But you can even imagine the women hearing themselves say, "Shirley, let's ditch this party, babe. I didn't really come here to date a bunch of wrinkled up styrofoam cups." No, my friends, when you hear people talk to Jack Parrow or about Jack Parrow in that fashion, bad-mouthing him because he's common, a degenerate, and whatnot, and cursing him for his swearing, which is the funny thing. Everyone who starts a sentence about Jack Parrow cannot do so without cursing themselves. And when you hear them badmouth him about everything he does, stop and think for a second. Do they badmouth him because they're jealous? Jealous of him? Because you don't have to wonder about who he is behind closed doors. But what would happen to these people if you found out who they really are behind closed doors? Would they be ashamed over the fact that now everyone knows who they truly are? That they will no longer be in the good books of their so-called friends, aka Mr. and Mrs. Nobody, working undercover as the people they think they know. Could these people just be jealous because Jack Parrow represents everything they would want to be in life? And they can't be that. Otherwise, others would look down on them. Think about it for a sec. And when you think of this, think of the hat and the wisdom he has just provided you with. And if anyone asks, you know what to do.